Hello? Anybody there? Got a couple people out there. Hidden within myself. Angel Cooper. Ben's Over Acres. Bill on the Rock Homestead. Geeky Gardens. Jujubee. How is everybody doing this evening? If you check at the top of the chat window, you should see hopefully it's working. There should be a pinned comment that indicates where you can drop me an email and we can put you online. We'll send you back a link. Rather than publish it in the chat where just anybody could grab it, I have no control over who might jump on in that fashion. We just do it through email. So it is May the 31st, Memorial Day. White Picket Fence, hello, how you doing? Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody took some time this weekend and remembered our service people that had lost their lives or been injured, or I mean that's what this day is all about. Shame the people that are running the country don't know that, but anyway. Let's see, Linda Jacobs, hello, how you doing? Like I said, hi to White Picket Fence, Albany Mountain Homestead. Bill on the Rock Homestead, Sherry is still down. I mean, yeah, she's getting a little better. She's not in as much pain, but she is still down. So, consequently, you have me this evening, and me doing this by myself and doing everything else. I can't do a good job trying to do one of our regular Monday Night Lives. So we postponed our regular show for tonight. Half-Acre Dreams. Good evening. So we did that and decided just to open up the platform here tonight. If anybody would like to jump on, the discussion is open for whatever you want to talk about, be it the weather, be it the holiday weekend, be it your garden, or something new you've discovered, or maybe a big sale somewhere, or something that you'd like to share with some folks and helping them out in other ways. By all means, please send an email to familyhomestead@gmail.com. Just going to go check here real quick. Nobody has done that yet. Nobody wants to jump on here with me. So, we'll keep trying. Let's see. White Picket Fence, I need to go. I was assuming that this means you, I don't know what that means. Courtney's husband. Hello, hello. Patty G, got family there. I totally understand. Thank you for that. Sherry, I think, is maybe snoozing at present. She's not out here anyway, but, there's got to be somebody here. How about Courtney's husband? Why don't you send me an email and let me send you this link? And that way you can jump on here with me and you can have half the show, and we'll just get some more people here. Oh, WT Farm Girl Videos. Good to see you. Boy, thanks for popping in. It's good to see you again. You go ahead and get your youngster to bed. You take care, and thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you doing that. I look nice and tan. Maybe that's just because I've been out working in the dirt here all day today and probably covered in it. So, but no, I've been out in the sun most of the day today. Unfortunately, this is not working the way that I was hoping it would. I was hoping by being out there in the sun all day and working that it would melt the fat off of me. But I think the fat is kind of hanging on. So it's not just melting off. Let me check the email again. Nobody. Let's just see here. Let's just see here. Okay. Come back. Now I can see people in here. Have I been able to do any gardening? All right, Half Acre Dreams, if you notice, if you were here a little bit before the show actually started, you probably saw a little bit of clip of our garden, what's left of our garden, that has tried to swallow me up, because it's so overgrown that we have weeds here that would just, well, let's put it this way, Smudge could hide and stand up doing it. But anyway, I'm switching formats this year. We have, since 2016, we have done the Garden of Eden type gardening. We do have some raised beds, but the ground preparation has been Garden of Eden. I just untold loads and loads. Courtney's husband, I'm wrangling chickens. Well, that could be good. Where was I? Loads and loads of wood chips. And the ground it's just been phenomenal. That gardening method is fantastic. However, once the ground gets to be like just so fertile, it wants to grow everything instantly. And quite frankly, it got away from us last year. Some of that due to our traveling. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, we can get Courtney to jump on here. So, anyway, it just got away. You can't discern the pathways from the garden beds. It's just a total mess. And gardening's a lot of work, and I'm not getting any younger. And neither is Sherry. So it's a lot of work. So we're looking to revamp our gardening. We're going to do primarily, not 100%, but primarily we're going to do some container gardening. And I have been making containers that have out of 5-gallon buckets that have a water basin. Daniel got us my judge. Mama Z, Texas Kitchen. Out of 5-gallon buckets that have a water reservoir in the bottom. So I don't have to be right on top of them to water it. They should maintain water for a few days. And building a rock homestead. A very determined predator has wiped out my flock. Any idea what this determined predator is, building a rock homestead? Sean in Alaska, good evening. So anyway, I've been making these containers, trying to get the garden mowed down. Just sent me an email. Okay. There we go. All right, you should be getting an email back. I'm only doing tomatoes this year because I consider selling my house. She didn't, staying put. But tomatoes are our favorite. I think I've got somewhere between 35 and 40 tomato plants planted. Pathways Homestead, hello. Thorhaven Farm, hey, hey. Good to see you. So Thorhaven, send me an email, I'll send you a link. Mama Z, send me an email, I'll send you a link. I just heard somebody pop in. Hold on. Let me grab them. All right. Okay, Courtney, can you say something? I'm trying to get your volume turned up here. Okay. Let me get this all right. And on the screen right now, you are seeing Miss Courtney, Wide Family Farms. Thank you for stopping in. What's new what's new up your way?
Not a whole lot. Just, oh my gosh, today was a busy day. We woke up at 3 a.m. and headed out to the flea market and sold a lot of tomatoes today. That's what we did.
Also, so you're selling your produce.
Yep. Well, no, we sold the plants, not the actual tomato itself.
Oh, just the tomato makers.
Yep. So that's what we did today, and it was such a weird weather today. We woke up at 3 a.m. and moved out there to sow, and it was freezing. And then by mid-afternoon, we were frying. So,
So how far away is this market that you go set up at?
It's about 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
It's not too far away.
Do you also sell your eggs and stuff there? I know you have a...
Now, we have an issue with Ohio and eggs. You have to go by the guidelines for the health department, which you have to keep them refrigerated. And if you don't, the health department can shut you down and stuff like that. So we haven't got a way to sell our eggs at any marketplace yet. We're thinking about getting a generator and all of that, but oh yeah, I was out in the sun. That's why I'm like fried. But yeah, so we don't know about the eggs yet, but we saw the eggs and stuff at the house. So so far we just sold 6 dozen today.
Is that just at a flea market type or a farmer's market type event? It has to be that way?
Yeah. Well, I think it's in any outdoor event, you have to keep them refrigerized. So, and then you have to periodically test the eggs to make sure that they aren't being kept cold and stuff like that. So we haven't figured out a way to do that yet when we're on the move. But everything here is in the refrigerator. So when people stop by, because I know they say not to wash your eggs, but we wash our eggs and put them in the refrigerator, and they're usually sold within the week.
So what do they say the temperature has to be?
I can't remember. It's like, I wanted to say it was 34 degrees or something like that. Something ridiculous.
That's cold.
So,
well, maybe you could just get a big watering trough, fill it up with ice.
That's a really, really good idea. And that's the thing is, like, we had to be careful when the ice melts and stuff too, because a lot of our stuff is in cardboard packaging. So you don't want everything to get like sopping wet.
Oh, so. No, but I was just thinking just putting the eggs in there loose and you take them out as people want them. Oh
yeah, that's a good idea.
And you could have people bob for them.
That would be gross.
Well,
yeah, we had fun at the flea market today, though. I'm not gonna lie. Years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, we used to do this. We used to be flea market people, and we would go to garage sales and look for specific items to sell at the flea market. We did this for like 3 years in a row, and then we got burnt out because it was like every year we were, over the holidays we were, not home. So we decided to stop for a while, but we kind of missed doing this. It used to be a lot of fun. So it's been a while.
Well, I know you've got. We had the opportunity to actually visit Courtney at her home, and they've got quite the garden set up there. You've done a real nice job with that.
Yeah, we added on, and we're going to be adding on clear over to the greenhouse. But for right now, the area next to the greenhouse is going to be all fenced in. And then that's going to be a play area for my son. So, because I can't be outside with my son and in the garden at the same time, because if that's the case, he's wild. He runs all over the place. So we got to make him a fenced in area where he can have his toys.
Well, we actually saw that he rules the garden.
Yeah. Yeah. If I allowed him in my garden for a long period of time, I wouldn't have anything in there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I love gardening. It's my favorite thing to do. Right now I got my beans up, and I'm really kind of disappointed though, because I planted a whole row of kidney beans, and I only got 2 of them to pop up.
Oh, really?
So far. Yeah, so...
I see that Pathways Homestead has a suggestion here for you to use ice packs and towels in a cooler, 45 degrees or below.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Because there's a flea market, or not flea market, a farmer's market not too far from here. And we would love to sell our eggs, but there was incidences where people have gotten shut down there because of the egg issue, so. Oh yeah, my husband's Courtney's husband, that's my husband, in case you guys haven't figured that out yet, but we scored an All-American, at the flea market. That's another thing.
Courtney, we did make the assumption that your husband.
I had to be really careful at the flea market because I tend to buy everything. I was really proud of myself that I walked away with one plant, and that was it. But my husband, early in the morning, scored an All-American pressure canner, and we were so excited. So,
wow.
Oh, hey, how are you doing?
Awesome. How about you?
What's up? How you been?
Amazing. Really
How's
good.
the weather up there?
It's 10 degrees above freezing, so it's not too bad, but it feels a little cool just because it's damp and stuff. So yeah. The past couple days here have been miserable, except for today. Today was wonderful, and it's supposed to be in the 80s for the next 2 weeks. So nice.
Yeah. But
You were mentioning talking about having a fridge for your eggs and stuff.
yeah, to sell them at farmers markets. Yep.
If you can afford it, and if it's yours, we have one that we used for off-roading, and it basically plugs into your cigarette lighter. So I can take it for like a 3-day weekend in the truck. The truck's turned off for the entire weekend, and that fridge will run no problem because it only draws about 9 amps.
Nice.
The only problem is they're expensive, so you have to basically do the calculation, see if you sell enough eggs to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, that's where we were coming across the problem is like we didn't know how many eggs we were going to sell at this farmer's market. We didn't want to invest, in all this stuff. But yeah, that's a really good idea. Can you plug anything into that? Like, could you plug in like one of those mini refrigerators or something like that? Like
the angled ones will basically they come in different sizes, and you can plug it into your cigarette lighter, but they also plug into a regular plug in the house. And what I did is I took the one that plugs into the house or the cigarette lighter. One of them, I just stripped it off and I hooked it directly to my battery in the truck.
Oh, okay.
So I run a second battery in my truck and it's hooked directly to that fridge freezer.
Okay. Babe, if you're listening, that's something we need to think about for real. Because right now, we have 8 leghorns right now, and now they're just starting to lay. We have so many eggs. It's unreal. It's unreal. Yesterday, I got 8 pounds of eggs, and it came to 5 dozen. So I'm like getting 5 dozen eggs almost a day, or every 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's been, and people are keeping track. Like they're buying stuff, and we're keeping up with it. But it's just like I would love to go to like a farmer's market and actually sell them, versus like having all my neighbors support me, because all my neighbors are basically buying my eggs. I have a woman that comes down on her tractor and like purchases like all my eggs. She's like,
that's awesome.
I love your eggs. She's like, I give them to all my friends. I'm like, so glad.
We've been selling ours too, but it comes in waves. So it's so funny because we'll put, say, 6 dozen eggs out. Someone will come and grab all the eggs. And then, that afternoon we'll have 2 or 3 more people come for eggs. And we're sold out. And then the next day we have a few dozen eggs and no one shows up. And it's like...
Yeah, that's so frustrating. Yeah. And then I'm like, all my neighbors, they don't want to be contacted. They don't want me to message them or anything. They think that's annoying, which I don't blame them. But I do like to let them know when I have fresh eggs. Like, hey, I got eggs if you're interested. They don't even want that.
Courtney?
So they just come by whenever they feel like it.
Courtney?
and then my other neighbors, literally right next door to me, they purchase like 5 or 6 dozen at a time.
Courtney?
Too. So.
Courtney?
Yeah. What's up?
Christian Hansen is asking, do they taste better than the ones from the store?
Yes, 100%. And like you can tell a huge difference in fresh eggs versus eggs in the store for sure. It's just such a good taste. Such a good flavor.
It's not even close.
Yeah, I can't even describe it. Like the stuff, I'm not knocking. Well, I am knocking, I guess. The eggs in the store are literally like when you buy them, they're almost like 4 months in.
Well, the eggs in the store are good around Easter time for coloring.
Yeah, pretty much. when you get my eggs, you're getting either that month, because eggs can last forever, but you're either getting them that month or that week that they were laid, or even that day. So versus the store, which you're getting those like 4 months in, like they're already 4 months old.
Let me just jump in here a second. If Robin, Big Bear Homestead, if you check Big Bear Homestead email, I sent you the link. Copper Kettle Farms, I sent you a link. So if you guys would like to jump on, would love to have you. Back to you, Courtney.
But yeah, so the egg issue. So a lot of people don't understand it, and we charge like $3 a dozen, and there's a reason for that. We free range our birds, and we feed them the best food, and I have different colored eggs, green and blue, and all these different kinds of, so I purchased all these different colored chickens, and so it's quite expensive. So even at $3 a dozen, I'm still not breaking even. Maybe in some months, it depends on how many people buy eggs and stuff like that, but I'm still not breaking even. You're not going to get rich selling eggs. You're not going to do that, but
you can definitely tell the different tastes between the colors.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you can tell the taste per se, but every it just has the best flavor. When you're my mom,
I can tell between the store bought and our eggs, but the colors not so much.
Yeah, you can't really tell. And somebody told me that turkey eggs taste different, but we had a turkey, and she was the best. She basically laid like 60 eggs one year, and sometimes 2 a day. She was like the happiest little turkey. And her eggs, I mean, they taste the same. They're just giant. They're just really, really, really big. And that was cool too. And I had people that would come to my house specifically asking for her eggs. So
I heard we haven't had any duck eggs, but I heard they were more rich, fatty compared to chickens, but I haven't had duck or turkey, so.
Yeah, I've tried the duck eggs, and they're disgusting. I don't like them. My husband doesn't like them either. So, I mean, leave that up to you, and you can try them. But they're not one of our favorites, that's for sure. They are good for baking if you can't taste them. If you put them in something that you can't taste, taste them, then yes, I guess they would be good eggs then.
You just
for us, I'm against getting ducks since the noise would be, we've already got a couple of roosters, and all our neighbors have sled dogs, so we always hear the sled dogs. So I don't want to add any more noise to the farm.
Yeah, I understand that. There are some ducks that make a lot more noise but our ducks, they don't make that much noise. We have 2 Pekings and 3 khaki Campbells, and they don't make any noise. In fact, when they do make noise, I kind of think it's cute. But some ducks make bigger noises, and guineas and stuff like that, obviously, they're super annoying, those birds. But yeah, the ducks haven't made that much noise. It's not that bad. And I think it's kind of cute. When
Now, is
they're
it
a little pond and they make a bunch of noise and it's kind of
is it pecking ducks or
pecking?
peking?
Yeah, pecking or peeking. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I got 2 birds, Linda and Quackers.
Brenda, I do believe you need to raise the price on your eggs. Without question. Brenda says she's selling hers for $1.50 a dozen.
Yeah, that's more even paid.
Ouch.
If you feed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, feed cost is going up majorly. So we're free ranging our birds just to make up for that, you know.
Unfortunately for us, we were selling quite a few eggs, and then COVID hit, and basically everyone in our area got chickens. So now no one buys eggs because everyone has chickens, and we can't buy any wire or lumber or anything else because it's all sold out because everyone's buying stuff to build more chicken coops.
Yeah.
So,
Chris's Clevercraft, thank you for stopping by. Sherry's still down, but she's getting better. So
that's good to hear. I was really worried
nice.
about her.
Good.
Looking to see here.
And they wiggle their butts, which I love. Oh yeah, the ducks wiggling their butts. They're cute.
So in
Our
addition,
ducks aren't friendly.
in addition
aren't
to
friendly at
the
all.
duck eggs, I mean, there's goose eggs. There's,
Yeah, I don't have a goose. I've never had a goose, but my ducks aren't friendly. I can't pick them up or anything. The one night I have an invalid duck, and she can barely walk, you know, but she's really old. She's probably like 100 years old in duck years or something. And I picked her up one night, and that's the first time I ever picked up a duck. Like, she was just like, she couldn't walk to her area to be locked up, because we lock them up for the night, because if we don't, the raccoons will eat them. Raccoons are nasty creatures.
They are.
So, but yeah, that's the first time I ever picked up a duck. I picked her up, and she was just so grateful. And
I'm currently having a rabbit fight.
a rabbit fight.
Yeah. Yeah. A multitude of rabbits is invading my garden area.
Oh no, that is not good.
Whenever we see the rabbits in our garden, we let the basset hound out, and he chases them. Either that or we shoot them, but he loves going after them. But they eat the tulips that we planted, and we planted 300 last year. And yeah, it's an investment. So letting those rabbits eat the tulips are not a good idea.
Doesn't that make you sick to your stomach?
What kind of?
I paid $150 for tulips, and they were like they were called Burning Fire or something, and they were like bright orange, and they were beautiful. They came up one year, and I don't know if the chipmunks ate them or what, but I never got them back, and I was so mad. I was like, I'm never doing that again. Way too much money.
Yeah, unfortunately, like if the rabbits eat them or you cut them, they don't reproduce because they have to grow up and then die and send that energy back into the bulb. So if that is disrupted in any way, you're not getting that tulip back again. So, and they don't expand or reproduce themselves, which is weird. So when you plant tulip bulbs, you only get that tulip. You have to plant more tulips to get, which to me is weird because
that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because daffodils and all those, like, they all reproduce. Like, you plant a couple daffodils or whatever, you're going to have thousands of them.
They just expand every year. Yeah.
Huh. I never knew that.
No, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I think tulips are so beautiful. And I absolutely love them. And that's why I planted them when we first moved in. I'm like, we got to get those in because, you know, in the next couple of years, I'm going to have these beautiful, like, tulips every year. And it's going to be great. And they never came back. I was so mad. But
Yeah.
we learned our lesson too, because we planted sunflowers and we plant them down by the road. So it's like real joyful experience when you drive down the road and you see all these sunflowers.
Nice.
And we direct sowed them one year, and only one came up, and I was like, "What's going on?" I'm finding sunflower seeds all over the yard, everywhere. Here, the chipmunks took them and ate them. The chipmunks and the squirrels. I'm like, oh, so mad. So this year we started every single one, and then we planted them out there. That way, nothing ate the seeds. So far, they haven't bloomed or anything, but so far they're doing good. So
You'll have to watch, because as soon as they start blooming, the chipmunks will be out there and they eat the heads off and then take the entire flower, the head, and try and abscond with it and leave with it. So we had a whole ton of sunflowers last year that came up. And then we went out and started looking, and, you start seeing just these stems without the flower. We're like, what the hell? And we realized it was the squirrels and chipmunks that would go up, eat the head off, and take the head and try and save it for the winter.
I'll be darned. I had no idea they did that.
They're such a nuisance, man.
Yeah.
My husband starts these really extremely hot peppers and makes like a powder from them. And lately here I've been selling that powder. Everybody wants it to put around their beds and stuff to keep the chipmunks and stuff out. I mean, that powder is so hot, we have to double bag it because you can smell it through the bag. It's like horrible, but I'm like, this stuff is the work. I mean, it'll work. Like, so just sprinkle a little bit of that around every flower, around every bed, and
oh yeah,
it'll keep stuff out.
Nice.
So my husband's like, stop giving away my chili powder, because he uses it in his chili. I'm like, but yeah, it's super hot. It works.
I think we've got peppers for the first time this year because of our greenhouse. We tried growing peppers last year, but in our climate, it just doesn't work well. So we got them started early, put them in the greenhouse, and they actually look like they're doing well. So hopefully we should actually have some peppers this year.
That's awesome, because I love peppers. And it hasn't been till recently, actually, that I developed a taste for them. Pretty much all my life, I thought they were disgusting. And then recently, like, I don't know, I've just gotten all these different types, and it was because of, Baker Creek and stuff like that. Like, I can order all these different types of peppers, and I've ordered these, like, Spanish ones. Oh, man, they had, like, such a good flavor. And
nice.
I got, like, Natapinos this year, and Mini Bells, and, I just eat them. I love to eat them raw. They are so good raw. So.
That's awesome.
Well,
this year we have so many peppers.
Albany Mountain Homestead seems to have a good handle on the messiness of ducks and geese. Where you step and slide in their crap.
Oh yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, chicken smell."
So
ducks.
So Courtney, do you guys have you? I don't think you currently do, but have you explored with quail?
No, I haven't, and I don't think I would mind eating quail. I've had Cornish hen and stuff like that before, so I don't think I would mind eating quail. We just never done it. And then my friend Uncle Al told me a way to how they butcher them and stuff, and I'm really careful about how I talk about stuff like that because it turns my stomach. Like, I've even considered being a vegetarian at some point in time because meat sometimes disgusts me. And so, but yeah, so I don't know. Maybe sometime, we will have them, and see. It'd be great, over top of a beer can on the grill or something.
Got a coworker that, he raises quail, and he brings them into the office every so often, basically, pickled eggs. And it's just amazing. But you eat them so fast because they're so small, and you just pop them in
Yeah.
your mouth, and they're so yummy. It's great. So we've been thinking about having quail, but there's so many other projects on the go right now here that it might have to be next year before we get into it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like we don't have the facility. I mean, I guess you could put them. You could probably put them in a rabbit cage or a rabbit hutch or something.
From the sounds of it, you can put them anywhere, and you can't. You have to have a cage that's low enough for them, because from the sounds of what he's told me is they'll actually fly up and break their neck from hitting their head on the roof. So you don't want them flying.
Wow.
So they're not smart animals.
They're not
think maybe
smart.
I can eat them then. Sometime we'll have to do that and maybe get a couple of them and see how it goes. We butchered our turkeys, and that was like one of the hardest things that we ever did, you know. Not that I love turkeys. I think they're so freaking cool, you know.
They're so ugly though.
Yeah, they're so ugly. They're kind of cute. And we had a tom the last year. We had 10. One tom, and then he had all those ladies, and man, he just thought he was so cool. He had all those women around him. He was trotting around, and then we had to butcher him, and I felt bad. But he was 35 pounds. He was a pretty big guy.
Nice.
And so we gave him to our neighbors. Our neighbors always help us out and do things for us, and they're Mennonite. So they bake me homemade stuff and homemade jams, and they're always doing stuff for us. So we gave them the tom, last year. And so I asked her, I said, "Are you going to cook it for Thanksgiving?" She's like, "No, I'm cooking it tomorrow night for dinner."
Nice.
Like, okay.
I usually have, when I was doing the chickens, the meat chickens, and butchering our other chickens, it wasn't too bad. When I had to harvest our Highland bull, though, the cow, that took a bit of an emotional toll on me.
Yeah,
so
I can just imagine, because for me, it was hard with the turkeys. I can't imagine a cow. I can't. But, it has to be done. I realize people eat meat. I get it. But it's just like, you have to be a strong person to do it. You have to be.
Yeah. And the pigs too. The pigs were no problem for me. But I think it comes down to, what kind of emotional bond you have with them, how much you're able to pet them and look after them. So
they're almost like giant dogs.
You don't go out and snuggle the meat chickens or pet them or that sort of thing.
Some people do.
The pigs, you're not able to really snuggle once they get to a certain age. And but our Highland cows, you can go out and you can brush them and pet them, and they love that. So it's a bit different that way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Brenda's take on quail is that they're little poop machines.
Good for the compost bin.
Oh yeah, it's great for the garden. But yeah, the depending upon what you name your animals, if you give them a name and it's food related, it's okay.
We've named all of our Highland cows, and I know what they're there for, so I know it's got to be done, and I'm thankful for what they've given us. Where the cows or the pigs and the chickens, we don't name them, and we don't pet them, we don't snuggle with them, we don't brush them. So there's a bit of that detachment from it compared to the cows. So.
Yeah. Yeah, with the cows, it's different. They're shaggy, they have.
And we named our bull T-Bone, knowing that that's what he would be. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I didn't name my turkeys. Tom, he was Tom, but the rest of them were ladies. Tom and his ladies, and that's all I got. I wouldn't name them individually or anything like that. It's too hard. It was too hard. But yeah, so that's farm life for you right there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was even getting distraught the other night. We just recently built a rabbit colony. So it's like 24 feet by 12 feet, I want to say. So they can run around in it. And before we got that finished, we actually built like a little, everyone builds those chicken tractors. So we built a little rabbit tractor. So I could move that around the yard, and we'd go in at night or in the morning, grab the little baby bunnies out of their cage and put them in this rabbit tractor and move them around on the grass, and they'd eat the grass. But the other night I went out, and one of them was on top of the little hutch that is inside the rabbit tractor. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Now I'm going to count them because they're up on top. And there's 11 of them, and I counted 10, which meant one escaped. So I was kind of looking all over for like 20 minutes with my flashlight, and I couldn't find a rabbit anywhere in the yard. So the next morning I went out and we took the basset hound out, and Bridget and I went out with our coffee, and she saw him and grabbed the basset hound at the same time, thankfully. But he was under the cage where the rabbits were. So we were able to go over, and he was kind of cornered anyway, and we picked him up and put him back in. But now that we've got the rabbit colony, it's a little easier for them. But yeah, I was kind of a little distraught even for the rabbit missing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't think I would have been able to sleep. I'm like that way with my chicken. I'm too attached to my chickens, but they're not meat birds. They're my laying hens. I mean, I guess in a situation where you needed to eat, they could be meat birds, but for the most part, they're not those ugly meat birds. They're like pretty little hens,
and that's just it with the meat chickens. We got 40 this year. Last year we got 40, but we lost 7 before we were actually able to harvest them. And with those ones, you have to harvest them, because if not, they just die on their own.
Right.
It's crazy.
Big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. We got Darren up here. Another Darren. Look at
hey, what's going on?
It's the cooler Darren.
It's the other Darren with the bigger, grayer beard.
How we doing, all?
Awesome. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I was just taking care of a chicken with a name. And Daryl, before Sherry asked, no, I did not choke the chicken.
Okay.
That'll be later after you get off, right?
No, I used a knife.
That sounded bad.
I'm a knife maker.
Okay.
And he did have a name, so I do not mind them having a name at all.
How many chickens do you have?
Now down to 4.
4? Okay. So it's easy to keep track of them if you've named them.
Yeah.
We've got a whole bunch, and a bunch of them all look the same, so it's harder to name and keep track of them.
Yeah. This was Big Boy, and Big Boy was Big Boy because he was a big boy. It's that simple. I don't go with complex names because I'll forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, usually mine are all like 1950s names, Marge and Henrietta and something like that. It's not like, I don't know.
Hence why we went with T-Bone for our Highland cow. Just
I let my kids name my chickens. The first chicken was Precious that I thought was a female. Turned out to be Mr. Precious, then he got butchered. Then there's Oreo, which is our rooster, which we thought was a female. My daughter named that one because it had more white than black when we got it. My son named the other barred rock Spot. And then the other one is named Taco. My son's friend named that one. We tried different names, and it wouldn't come near us with other names, and so my son's friend tried Taco, and It came to him. So it's stuck. And she's my most beautiful hen. But she will not let me pet her.
Yeah, none of my hens will let me pet them either. I have 5 roosters, and the rest are all hens, and they're just... I mean, I can get close to them, and I can hand feed them, but they don't want me picking them up. They don't want me... They're real skittish. But
Let me
they're cool.
touch her is Taco, my golden lace Wyandotte. My barred rock, I can pet her, pick her up. Red, I can pet her. Even though she bites me, if she keeps biting me, she ain't gonna last long. And then Spot, my rooster. I can pick him up, I can pet him, I can hand feed him. But hopefully, fingers crossed, the eggs I got in the incubator right now. I've been getting yelled at by a few people not to look at the eggs. So today, I waited like 2 weeks. I've looked at them, 2 times, I think. Today, I looked at 2 eggs, and there was movement in there, and I could see a beak. I got another 8 days till they're supposed to hatch, so.
That'll be fun.
Cool.
I hope so, because I want some more chickens.
We've got one we hatched a little while ago. Still young, so we haven't put it in with the rest of the older ones. And we're pretty sure it's a rooster, but it'll sit up on Bridget's shoulder. So she goes in and she'll start talking to them, and it'll come over and basically jump up on her hand, and then she can set it on her shoulder and walk around with it. It's like a
cool.
pirate
My coop
parrot.
is too small to walk into it. I'm not there.
That's so cool.
One day I'll have a walk-in coop. That's one of my goals, have a walk-in coop.
So, Courtney.
I did have 20 meat birds ordered, but I had to cancel when I found out either the landlord or the owner sprayed weed killer on the side yard.
So, Courtney, are you growing anything new in your garden this year? First time?
Yeah, tons of new stuff. Watermelon, squash. We're growing this thing called a zucca gourd, and they get to be like 100 pounds.
100 pounds?
Yeah, they get really
Yeah, but
huge.
they're not that edible.
Yeah, they're not really that edible, but we'll see.
You just want the weight.
Yeah, I just want the weight, Aaron.
Yeah, but to weigh it, you need to eat it.
Yeah.
I'll find a way. Yeah, but so we're growing all these new varieties of tomatoes as well. But mainly, I'm excited to try the squash and stuff. I've never had squash. My newfound love for peppers made me want to plant the squash because I'm thinking maybe I will like squash. And I've watched people make them into like French fries and stuff. Like they put them in the oven and make them like a French fry. So I'm like, well, maybe I can eat this then.
Salt, peppers, and cheese on top?
Yeah, something. That sounds good.
It is. You gotta try it. And try air frying it too. It's delicious.
Terry, what new items are you growing in your garden this year?
Well, let's see. I planted some red okra today, which usually I do Clemson spineless. I'm growing grapes, 2 different types of grapes. I have Algonquin squash, Cherokee 10 pumpkins. I'm trying some different peppers again. I am having to redo my container of potatoes because they went to smithereens. My single potato that I planted in the feed bag I had, that's doing good. Let's see what else. I'm trying some different types of watermelons, some different types of cucumbers, some pole beans I haven't grown before, and hopefully my next planting of pole beans and peas that I put in the ground tomorrow will actually come up.
I got a question. We have zucchini out there, but it's the round little 8-ball zucchini. And they're starting to get like a white powdery, which I expect that to happen with all squash and all that kind of stuff. So they're getting powdery mildew. I heard that milk will take that off, but does it have to be raw milk, or can it be milk from the
Powdered
store?
milk.
Huh?
Powdered milk. Mix it with water, put it in like a spray
So it
bottle
can be
or
any
sprayer.
milk. It doesn't have to be raw.
That's what I put on mine last year, and
Okay.
I had no problem.
All right. Well, I'm going to try it because it's starting to look... We had rain there for like 3 days straight, and they're starting to look like they're getting a powdery mildew on them. So I'm going to try that and see.
Like right now, I went out to the garden. I have, in a row, supposed to be 27 tomato plants. One of the tomato plants does not look like a tomato plant. It looks like a pepper plant. I heard that, Darren. The pepper plants I had started from seed didn't make it, so I had to go buy some. Let's see. I have 3 different types of squash. No, Algonquin, Cherokee Tin, regular squash, 2 different types of patty pan, and another one I can't remember. It's like 8 or 9 different either squash pumpkin mix, and everything's coming out pretty good, but a bunch of the seeds I put in, like my collards, my turnips, the radishes got eaten. The birds like them. Let's see.
Now I can hear.
A bunch of the seeds just didn't come up. I don't know why they just didn't. I mean, we've had like no rain for a month, and sporadic rain here and there, and then the other day it poured like crazy.
Brenda, can you hear
Thursday
okay?
we're supposed to have rain for like 8 days in a row.
What?
Brenda,
Where did you go?
Brenda, can
We're
you
going
hear
to have
us?
to get going, guys. But thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
For letting me on.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
I can hear
Okay.
And you guys have a good night.
you all.
Love y'all.
Night,
Have a
Courtney.
good night, Courtney.
Good night,
Okay.
Courtney.
There, Courtney.
Thanks for stopping up here. Duncan 1900 Homestead. You guys are in for a treat here tonight. She doesn't appear live too often.
No, she
Not
doesn't.
very often.
This is a treat.
Nice.
Unlike the rest of us who are live whores.
So, Brenda,
Speak for yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? You were on my live the other night.
Yeah, it was.
No, Darren.
Okay.
so
I know, I watched it.
so
I watched
Brenda,
the replay.
Brenda, what is new out your way?
Oh, let me see here. Whoa, it don't reach very far. I don't know if you can see that. There's baby
See a
chicks
bird
in there.
box?
Baby chicks. Well, I see the heat lamp in the box, so I'll take your word that
There's baby chicks in there.
Now these are ones you hatched.
Yes, we hatched them in the incubator we bought from you guys.
Oh, wonderful. So that worked okay then.
Yeah, it worked pretty good. The only problem I had with it was once you get to that last few days, I'm gonna see. Does that look any better? Otherwise, it's whitewashing me. The last like 3 days or so of the hatching, before they hatched, the treatment was very good. So I ended up putting wet towels around the edges of the incubator to keep the humidity levels up.
Okay.
But otherwise, it was great.
How many did you hatch? What's your success rate?
Oh gosh, I don't know how many's in there. I think there's probably close to 40.
Nice.
So
And this was your first attempt with that incubator.
with that particular incubator, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, before I always just hatched them with one of those little styrofoam ones.
Uh-huh.
Or what I really like is silkies. Silkies will hatch them for you and raise them for you.
I think
Silkies are good mamas.
Prettiest. Silkies and Polishes, they're the prettiest ones.
They're the real fluffy ones.
Polishes have that little floof of feathers on their head. I like
Yeah. Now, silkies look furry all over.
Yeah. Cowtail Farm has a bunch of silkies because their daughter married Carl. She's got some beautiful ones.
They are beautiful hens or chickens, and they are very docile. They make great pets too. So if you're looking for one, like for kids to pet or whatever, you don't have too many worries about silkies. They're good pets.
We've got our basset hound. That's enough pets for the kids. Everyone else has to pay their way.
Ah, well, silkies do if you let them raise a brood of chicks for you.
Nice.
Yeah, Rebel Canner says that the silkies look like Muppets.
Depends on the silkies too.
They look like Muppets. Almost. But
They're
they are great mamas if you want to raise, if you want sitting hens that will raise, hatch them and raise them for you. They're awesome.
That's great. We've got Chanticleer, which were basically bred in Quebec, but they're part partridge, part chicken, but they're not really good mothers. So we've never had one that's gone broody on us. We've had, I guess it's like the Rhode Island Red, basically the ones you get from the store, the co-op, whatever. We've had one of them go broody, but everything else we have to do with the incubator.
Now, Albany Mountain Homestead is kind of asking here that they heard that you can get hens to go broody if you leave the eggs alone for a few days.
It can help, but with ours, it didn't make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, it usually doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
I'm trying to get mine to go broody at the moment. They're not willing to do it.
Maybe you need to get in the nest with them, Darren.
They have to be in the mood or they won't do it.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
And they moved their egg laying location to a more hidden spot, so I made them a new egg box over in that spot. So it was nice and dry for them.
Now, if they're hiding them, they may go broody on a nest of eggs where they hid them at.
Yeah.
And they're just not letting you know they're broody.
So I've moved them over there and I let them lay a clutch of about 10, and then after they've laid a clutch of 10, if they're not sitting, I'll pick them up.
So with your seasons being somewhat opposite,
Yeah, we're in cold.
Yeah, somewhat opposite of ours. Do you do a winter garden where you're at?
I am winter gardening. Leafy greens, peas, this watermelon radish, which I roasted some up the other day, beetroots, cauliflower.
All right.
All that sort of good gear.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are stuck with me as I am.
Brenda looks fine.
You're lucky that way that you can winter garden there, Darren. We can't winter garden in 5 feet of snow. So
Yeah, there's no 5 feet of snow, mate.
We just had 2 nights in the low 40s.
Didn't you do a greenhouse
That one froze.
there?
Yeah, we started using our greenhouse this season, so we're not sure if we can use it year round yet because we're not sure
Okay, there you
exactly what the temperatures will get to now in the middle of winter. I know it'll extend our season by at least a month or two at the end, but we'll just have to do a little trial and error this year and see how it goes.
Are you going to attempt to heat the greenhouse?
We haven't planned to yet. We've kind of thought about it, but at this point, no.
I've got just a thing for you sitting out there leaning on my garage. It's hot water heat panels that you put in the sun, obviously.
Okay.
And set up a recirculating system.
Right.
Just unfortunately, where I'm at, we don't have a good direction to the sun, and I've got 3 of the panels, and they're just sitting there. I'd let somebody have them at a really good price if somebody was interested.
Nice.
Okay,
Well,
I totally missed that, Daryl.
If you run a black painted barrel and run run the water up through those solar panels, then that's going to heat up your greenhouse.
Right. What the panels that I have, they're the, what they call them, evaporated tube. So the real high efficiency, they look like a dark blue in color. And of course it's all encased in glass and copper tubing. And I mean, they're nice panels, but that's
our problem would be is keeping the heat in. The one, like the 45 facing the sun, is all just regular 6 mil plastic, so it's not insulated. I think we'd have to figure out a way to kind of at night pull a blanket up on top of everything to help insulate it overnight.
Underlayer it, mate.
Yeah, something like that too.
You've got the plastic on top. If you run a layer underneath, then you've got an air gap there.
Yeah, something like that would probably work. Yeah.
Yeah, build a second greenhouse with
Also,
plastic.
if you have bubble, it helps.
Just 1 foot bigger. So you got a 12-inch air barrier in there.
Yeah, we could always
the problem we ran into with our greenhouse was during that Arctic blast we had. Oh gosh, it got down below 0 in there, but it was like minus 35 here, and that was even with heat going. And I found out the hard way: you cannot use a ventless propane heater in a greenhouse. It will kill your plants.
Well,
It puts off a gas fume, some type of fumes that won't hurt humans, but it will kill your plants.
I'll be darned.
Yep.
Yeah, the other option's a compost pile in there.
Fishes at Lowe's Life, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you doing that, and good to see you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we might increase the walkway inside the greenhouse is all wood chips, so we might put fill it basically all the way up, maybe a foot high with wood chips. See if that helps hold in some of that heat as well. We've got the one water barrel in there for thermal mass. We might stick a couple more in. So we'll just have to see, play around with some different options this year.
Mm. Yeah, well, I mean, you can go simple with the water barrels and run them up off some black copper pipe.
Yeah.
Well,
just paint some copper pipe black.
Another thing that can be done, if you have the means, like if you have a ditch witch or something just laying around not being used, and like some 4-inch drainage tile or 6-inch drainage tile, just bury it. You get it 2 or 3 foot down, and you're dealing with a constant temperature, and just a small fan will just circulate the air right through it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. I forget what it's called, but yeah, basically burying pipe.
Yeah, geothermal.
Geothermal. Yeah, yeah. My buddy does that where I got the design for this greenhouse. He's out in Alberta, Canada, and he's done some geothermal as well, and it works pretty well for him. So
that's what my son keeps trying to talk his father into doing, is the geothermal.
Yeah, it works well. I mean, it cools in summertime and warms in wintertime, where you get those freezing temperatures.
Right.
Okay, guys, I will be right back. I'm going to go get on my other computer. This one here is having a rough time with bandwidth.
Okay.
But I'm going to get on my other computer, so I'll be back in a few.
Okay.
They can hear me.
We can hear you.
So, Daryl, I came in late. How is Sherry doing?
She's feeling somewhat better, but she's still for the most part out of it.
Okay.
I mean, she's been sleeping here all evening.
Okay. Yeah, she needs her rest.
So it's wearing me out, I can tell you that. Good Lord.
So, since you're asking all of us, Daryl, What new things are you growing this year in your garden?
Well, okay. We're actually not growing anything new this year, but our methods are all changed.
Okay.
Going into doing a lot of container gardening, which we've done that on a limited basis before, but that's going to be our primary garden this year is containers, primarily 5-gallon buckets. So when it's all said and done, I'll have somewhere in the neighborhood of 60, 65 buckets out there.
Oh, wow.
So, and I'm doing my own take on them. I'm doing them as a so that they have a water reservoir in the bottom of them and bottom of the bucket, and I'm utilizing 4-inch drainage pipe as a layer in the bottom of the bucket that can maintain a 4-inch.
Yeah, self-wicking
Right,
Yeah.
right,
container.
right.
Cool.
And so the actual method that I'm using, I've not seen anywhere. It's kind of a culmination of all these different ones that I've seen on the web, and people are saying how theirs are all the best and most amazing. And so I always have to kind of tweak it a little bit, put my own spin on it. But
The YouTube channel Gardening with Leon does that, and he got Daniel from Arms Family Homestead doing that.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he uses bigger tubs, so.
yeah, he uses a lot of tubs for that cattle feed of some sort.
Yeah. And I
We
think,
just had a whole bunch
Living
of
Traditions Homestead
leftover
uses
from our
Calvin
trees that we planted. So
Yeah.
we just took all the containers from our trees and we're using those in the greenhouse to basically grow all our tomatoes and peppers and everything else.
I think it was 3 years ago. I'd have to go back and look. I think it was 3 years ago that I did a series of videos on where I'd taken 55-gallon drums and cut those in two.
That's what I did.
And
I cut them in half. I've got 4 with blueberry bushes in it, which I'm about to get a 5th one. I have 2 with my grape plants, 2 with the 2 different Algonquin squash and cherry tam pumpkin. I have 3 that I'm going to be putting my roselle bushes in there because the seedlings haven't gotten eaten, so they're still doing good. I want to buy some more, but with the things going on regarding the house and properties right now, I gotta wait.
I see that Kaylin Strain put in here that she had to replant some of her small pots. Big heavy rain, you kind of have to plan ahead with a pot.
Yeah.
And you definitely have to allow for drainage. Now, that's the reason I went with, I guess some people call them sit buckets. It's the wicking type buckets where there's a reservoir in the bottom. And I don't care how hard it rains, it's never going to, it could saturate the dirt, but it's not going to stay saturated because it will drain into the reservoir and then out a hole. So it can't fill up.
That's
I've seen the wicking ones done with a hole in the side above the reservoir too.
Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I've done.
And that way it's not going to completely fill the soil through and waterlog out the soil.
That's how I did my half barrels. I took my circular saw and cut slits all the way around. For like my blueberry bushes, I put 2-year-old wood chips in the bottom, about 4 or 5 inches. Put dirt on top of that in the last like 4 or 5 inches. Around the blueberry bush, I put dirt around the roots and all, and I put chips over top of that. And they actually did really well.
Well, old Alabama gardener, how are you doing, sir?
Hey,
Good
Alabama,
to see
how you
you.
doing, Charles?
Hello, Charles.
Charles, if you would like to jump on here, just let me know here and we'll get you a link and you can just jump right on. Or anybody else out in the chat that would like to do that.
Speaking of which, guys, I'm going to jump off. It's way past my bedtime and I got to work tomorrow. So.
Okay, well, hey.
Uh-oh.
Darren, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate seeing you.
Hey, thanks for having me, eh?
No problem.
We'll
Good
talk to
night.
everyone soon.
Anytime.
Take care, Al.
Take care now. Thanks, Darren. So we have Brenda is back.
I'm back.
Old Alabama gardener. Charles, would you like to jump on here? Would love to have you. We're talking.
I love Charles's garden.
He's
got some really nice gardens.
We're talking gardening stuff tonight, and that's right up your alley. Matter of fact, I might have your email.
Hey, Chris's Clevercraft, how you doing?
See, north facing for me works well because you guys are backwards.
Yes, we face everything to the south.
Let's turn it upside down.
So
Things
does your
look better from
toilets
down
rotate
under.
backwards too?
Our toilets rotate in the correct way.
Okay.
Charles,
Just checking.
Charles, I sent you an email. It has a link. So if you're right on the equator, does the water not swirl at all?
Yeah, we were having a discussion about this in a live the other day. There's a video out there, a guy who's in Ecuador, and he's got water set up to one side, water set up to the other side, and water set up in the middle. And on one side it flows clockwise, on the other side it flows counterclockwise, and in the middle it goes straight down.
Huh.
And I suppose if you're
Does
on
your
the
toilet
poles,
paper roll over or under?
goes straight up.
My toilet paper is the correct way. It comes away from the wall.
Comes away from
And
the
that's
wall.
the way the pattern's set up. So the original pattern for a toilet paper roll is set up with it going away from the wall.
I'm not sure I understand, Darren. I mean, mine goes away from the wall.
Yeah.
Mine too.
If you put it so the paper comes from the underside, that's incorrect. Because the original pattern was set up for the toilet paper roll to set up away from the wall.
Well, I can say this with all certainty. If you have a cat that likes to play with paper, it makes a big difference which way you put your toilet paper roll on.
Thank goodness mine does not.
Oh, Ed's still grumpy at me.
So Ed, why did you change your channel again?
Okay. Hello, Ed's Crazy Homestead.
Terry, what are you making there? I see you've got these lethal needles in your hand.
No, I'm doing. I worked 5 hours today. This is the 6th pot holder in 5 hours I've done. Because
I couldn't sit there and do that long.
Between calls, I was going 20, 30 minutes between calls, and I had finished 2 that I was working on, and this is number 4 of the whole ones I've done. Needless to say, I'm drinking wine after work tonight because some people just,
Faster. You're back. Or not.
Huh?
You're cutting in and out.
I shouldn't be.
You were.
Shouldn't be.
But you were.
That works,
it.
Geeky Gardens.
I do the smart thing with toilet paper and cats. I don't own a cat.
I do. My
Me
cat
neither.
Go near his toilet paper because I beat his butt real bad last time he did. I went to the bathroom and there's toilet paper all over the floor.
We no longer have a cat here. When we started doing all the traveling to the meetups and stuff, we took our only house cat at that time and deposited that cat into Louisiana, and it's now down at Reap What You Sow, and loving
Awesome.
life
Wow.
down there.
Well, you know, it's having a good life.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and just very very much enjoying the spread that they have down there.
That's
Yes,
good.
the last cats we had, somebody dumped 2 kittens out. The vet said they were about 2.5 weeks old. So I nursed those little boogers till they were big enough to eat on their own. And I went away for the weekend. And when I came home, this stupid little monster was mad at me
Enjoying the
for going away. The last
You
cat
spoiled
we
it.
had, somebody dumped 2 kittens out. The vet said they were about 2.5 weeks old. So I nursed those little boogers
Okay, Charles,
till they were big enough to eat on their own.
you're gonna have to turn down your
And when I
audio
came home,
on your
stupid little monster
YouTube.
was
On
mad
YouTube, you have to mute Charles.
for going away. The last cat
Spoiled it.
we had, somebody dumped 2 kittens out. Yeah, I'm hearing myself
Now it's
repeat.
repeating.
Okay,
So I nursed those little boogers
okay, Charles,
till they were big enough to eat on their own.
you're gonna have to turn down your
I am.
turn down your YouTube. Mute your YouTube and just listen through the Zoom connection.
Not too bad, thanks.
Wait,
Yep.
Okay, Charles, go ahead and say something.
Okay, have I got it working now?
You got it working.
you
Absolutely.
got it.
You got
How
it.
you doing, Charles?
Yeah. What's going on with everybody?
Oh, we're just we've been discussing some gardening techniques and seeing what everybody's trying new in their gardens this year, and we certainly thank you for jumping on, because you're certainly one of the more expert-minded gardeners in the homesteading community.
You know what the definition of an expert is now, don't you?
I'm gonna let you tell.
The expert means pass or X, right? And the spurt, well, that's just a drip.
Just a drip.
So,
An X is a has been, a spurt's a drip under pressure.
so I may be an expert. I don't know.
So, Charles, how are you doing this year?
Well, I just got out of the hospital yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Uh-oh.
Good.
I went in the hospital. My heart was beating at 175 beats a minute.
Whoa.
I know. I didn't even know your heart could do that.
Wow.
And my pacemaker wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. So I wound up spending about a day and a night in the hospital. But I'm back home now.
So they get you slowed down a little bit?
Yeah. Once they figured out what to do, they pretty much just reset it. That's what they did.
So it just went in for a little tune-up.
Say it again.
So you just went in for a little tune-up.
He had to get his timing belt adjusted.
Well, about another 2 years and 4 months, I got to go in and have the pacemaker replaced again. I'm on my third one now.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
How long
Well,
have you had it?
It's kind of funny because I wore the first one out they wear out at about 6.5 years, something like that. So I wore the first one out, got the second one implanted, and after 1 year, they sent out a recall on it. You'd think there would not be a recall on something as critical as a pacemaker, but they had a recall, so they had to go in and replace it again. And so this is the one that's in there now. See that big bulge right there? About the size of a deck of cards.
Huh.
My cousin's husband has a pacemaker. He's had 2 so far.
Well,
Mine works all the time. I have to have it all the time.
So does he. If not, his heart rate will get down below 30 beats a minute.
Yeah. See, I had a situation where my heart actually stopped beating. Actually, it stopped 3 times during about a course of 2 hours. And so I come up out of that with a serious
they should just put a hinge on you there so they can get in there and fix that up easier.
Say that again?
They should just put a hinge on you, so open it up like a hood of a car.
I told them one time, I said, why don't you just put a zipper in up there?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, because it's actually under what they call it. It's under your skin, but above the muscle. So if I happen to pick up something like a iron pole or something and bump that, I assure you, you'll only do it one time. You won't do it no more.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I'm very aware of that, and unfortunately, at least in my case, it's right where a seatbelt goes across.
Ow.
And
Can't be comfortable at all.
No, I actually put the shoulder strap underneath my arm and across. Yeah,
that'll get you too. Of course, my seatbelt from a driver's standpoint comes across this way, so I don't have a problem with it there. But if I was on the passenger side, seatbelt would come right over it, right, come across this way. So yeah, it'd be a problem. But I'm only 82 years old.
You're young still.
Well, I'm trying. Don't yell at me, Charles, if I do this wrong here. Didn't you just hit 100,000 subscribers in the past few months?
Yes, I did. You probably can see there behind me that silver plaque thing back there.
I see that play button. Yes, sir. Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't paying too much attention to it, really, but
Awesome.
That's what it looks like. And down here it just says, presented to old Alabama gardener for passing 100,000.
Well, not everybody gets one of those. And you
I'll never see one.
you have without doubt, you have helped countless people with your
it takes me about 4 months to pick up another. Yeah, it takes me about 4 months to pick up 25,000. So I'm at 126,000 now.
Wow.
Very nice. Very nice.
I can't imagine having that many subscribers right now.
You know what? Since I have all you people here, I'll tell you, because I was just doing this. A person had commented on one of the videos, actually it was on one of the squash videos. And so at different times I have offered people this, and I would offer all of you that too. I have about, 450 videos in there, and they're mostly on gardening, some on cooking, some on canning, and a few on how to have better health. Be 82 years old like me. And so what I offer for people is that if you want to send me your email address, I will send you a complete list of my videos as an attachment that you would be able to pull out and either put it on your desktop, store it on desktop, or save it into your smartphone, or however you would prefer to save it. So all I need is your email address, and I would send you the list. Obviously free, of course.
So you took the time to put together an entire list?
Yeah.
With all the names and
yeah.
Everything. Well, that's fantastic.
Well, that's awesome.
No, just
that is awesome. Very awesome. Thank you, Charles.
And the link to the video.
Oh, that's a lot of work right there.
Well, every time I upload a video, I just go add it to this list. And then periodically I'll sort the list in alphabetical order and, and save it.
So that involves having an organized mind. That's where I struggle.
So if one of you want to try it right now, you could send me an email at chancock39, 39 is my birth year, chancock39 at gmail.com. I will immediately send you, I will immediately reply back with the list, and then you can discuss it with anybody else, and if they want it, okay. If they don't, that's okay too. And it's free. I do it free. And I do it because I get questions quite often about, do you have a video on such and such? And I will, and I'm thinking, yeah, I do, but why didn't you look?
Yeah,
Exactly, Charles.
With a list
click that little search tab.
Yeah, over 450 videos, looking through the list, probably not fun.
Charles, Albany Mountain Homestead has a question here for you. It says, I would like to know what you recommend to do about voles in the garden.
About what?
Voles, V-O-L-E-S.
I'm sorry, I still didn't get it.
Well, they're using the term voles, V-O-L-E-S, but I'm guessing they're talking more like what I would refer to as a mole.
Oh, you saying moles?
Yes.
I got a video on that. Ew, really?
Albany,
Yes, I've seen it.
Albany Mountain Homestead. Send Charles via email to chancock39 gmail.com, and he will bless you with an entire list of videos.
But I'll also tell you, okay, I don't mind telling you.
All right, they're saying voles, V-O-L-E-S. I guess I'm not sure what.
Okay, that's different.
That's different. Okay.
That's different.
Do you have a video on voles?
No, I don't have a video, but I'll tell you what to do. Let me see here. You can see behind me, and it's a mess, so don't pay attention to that. But you can see that this is cotton from supplement bottles, which I keep. So, but you can just use plain old cotton balls, okay? So what you do is you take a little bit of cotton. It don't take very much, and you put. I'll show you what. You may not.
Peppermint oil.
Peppermint oil.
Peppermint oil.
Okay.
Okay. You put 2 or 3 drops of peppermint oil on this cotton, and you stick one of them in every one of them little bowl holes that you could find, because they make little holes in the ground, and they rarely come all the way out of the ground. That's why you can't get them. Can't do anything. You can't trap them. You just can't kill them anyway. And this doesn't kill them. All it does is drive them out. So if you do this enough, you will drive them completely out of your area, out of your garden. I don't have them in my area anymore. They're probably out in the woods, but I don't garden out in the woods. So
Okay, so Albany Mountain Homestead, you want some peppermint oil and little pieces of cotton balls.
yeah. And be sure to put it in every one of the little bowl holes. I usually take a little stick and push it down in there. And they may say, well, what does it do? It disrupts their sense of smell. Peppermint oil. Here's another trick with peppermint oil. Okay, do you ever get a tick on you? No? Nobody ever gets ticks?
It works on ticks. I have.
Okay, so on a tick, you don't want to start pulling on it because you'll pull the body loose and the head will remain attached to your skin. You're aware of that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
So what you do is you can use a piece of cotton, or you can use a a piece of tissue. It's like this little piece of tissue. Won't take very much. Wet it with the peppermint oil and put it right over the tick and hold it. Okay. In less than 5 minutes, that tick's going to turn loose, and he'll be trying to get away from there. Peppermint oil make him turn loose, and then you can grab it and just kill it or dispose of it or whatever you want to do. Yeah, I get ticks on me. I'm not going to show you. I got marks all over me right now where ticks have gotten me in. It don't take much of a time before they will make a really itchy place on your skin.
Yeah. Ticks are bad this year.
That's right. And there's a little kind of tick called a seed tick. And okay, and it's tiny. You probably will miss it until it starts itching, and then you'll probably find it. Okay, so I've had 5 seed ticks on me already this spring, but none of the brown ticks. My wife gets brown ticks on her, but I've been getting the seed ticks on me. So anyhow, did you see my latest video on English peas? So this is the variety I'm growing, and boy, they're blooming heavy. I'm sorry.
Alaska wilt resistant.
It's called Alaska.
I grew them last year. Oh, they were so good. They were very prolific.
Yeah, it really is loading up heavy, blooming heavy, and right now it's about 6 feet tall. And what's interesting is the package says 2.5 feet, so I don't know.
That's some good fertilizer there.
Well, yeah, I gave it some worm castings.
Those will get 6 to 8 feet tall. That's what mine did last year, and I had some that were like 9 feet long.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can't get them.
Okay. I didn't get an email from you guys, but I got an email from the person I was working with when I came on, and so she says, "All right, I received the list and I downloaded it, and the links are working."
Awesome.
It counts as a view, but I really do it for them, for you, for anybody that wants to have it on. Are we still there?
Yeah, we're still here, mate.
Yeah.
Just reading comments. But Daryl's disappeared.
Yeah, I'm out in the county, so I'm on a slow internet connection, and sometimes things will drop out on me here.
Daryl's supposed to be the adult in the room, keeping us all under control, but he's disappeared at the moment.
You don't know Daryl very well, do you?
Compared to me, Daryl's the adult.
Oh, okay. Well, Benji put it that way.
We can't deny that. Compared to me, most people are an adult.
Any of you folks going to the Homesteaders of America meeting, conference, or whatever it's called?
I wish I could get to any meeting, but they won't let me out of the country down here.
We most likely won't make it this year.
They need to let you out of the country.
Well, he's not in the U.S., huh?
No, I'm in Australia,
No.
Charles.
Wow. I missed an opportunity when I was in the Army overseas to visit Australia, and I kicked my behind ever since. I was down in Guam, which is, a little ways north of.
Internet cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cutting out.
Look, Australia's a great place to visit. It's not as bad as we make out. We don't have all those ticks you guys are talking about over there.
I see some beautiful.
That would
mountains.
be nice.
Yeah, I see some beautiful mountains in the background of you there.
Yes, that's a photo from up in the hills when my dog was hurting.
Okay, I'm back.
You're
Sorry,
back?
I had to go take care of Sherry here for a minute.
That is fine, mate. We forgive you that.
How's Miss Sherry doing?
She's doing better, but she's still down. This has not been an easy round. Let me put it that way. So
No,
much of
it's taken a long time to
yeah. This is
bounce back.
This is very unusual for her because it's been over a month now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Have the doctors said why it's taken so long?
yeah, matter of fact, last week they did a CAT scan and I mean she is getting better. It's just I'm sure Charles can tell you just don't heal as fast as you get older.
What?
No, Belle.
I don't know what. I guess you're talking about your wife
Yes.
and what happened with her.
Well, she had surgery a little over a month ago.
Oh,
And they had to go through some scar tissue.
yeah.
And this is it's just been very difficult for her.
Well, one of the things that I have learned over the years is your body doesn't heal well when your vitamin D is low. And since we have become, in this country at least, a nation of people who are inside people, indoors. 50 to 100 years ago, people farmed. They were outside all day long, almost every day, and they got vitamin D from the sunlight. But we're not there anymore. And so and most of you probably don't know what your current vitamin D level is, but I'm going to guess that it's less than 25. And that is almost chronic illness. I know what mine is. Mine is 72. And I have had it over 100. And cancer patients, for example, usually have a vitamin D level of around 15. And so you say to yourself, well, no wonder. And you look at the American today, and all of you can do it, and you know it. Americans have become a sick people. And it has to do with the processed food and the toxicity level of almost everything that we do in life anymore. And so what you have to do, since you can't get your vitamin D from the sun like we're supposed to do, well, let me say it a different way. You could get your vitamin D from the sun, but you would have to be outside almost all day with no clothes on. And obviously,
Not going to happen.
And obviously that's not practical. So
There's limited areas you can do that at, Charles.
Yeah, my neighbours would tend to complain if I'd done it.
Yeah. So,
Darren, your animals, your sheep may complain too.
Yeah. So
There's no sheep at my place.
to do it is to take vitamin D as a supplement. And so I do recommend to people that they should be taking vitamin D. And it's not so critical or so important about how much you take. What's important is what is your blood level. And the reason why I say that is because if you have gut issues, and most Americans do now because of the food, if you have gut issues, then most of you are not absorbing anything very well out of your food. So therefore, you also will not absorb your vitamin D very well. So the only way to know when you have a sufficient amount is do a vitamin D blood test. Test your blood for your vitamin D level and adjust your supplement intake up or down based on what your blood test reveals. And I do take vitamin D every day. I take 10,000 IUs a day.
So Charles, just for general knowledge for everybody here, if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to check yourself, how does one go about doing that? You don't have to have a medical thing to go in and have them draw blood, or
there are places that you can go, and it's really pretty easy because they send you, they call them blood spot cards. I don't know whether you've ever done anything with a blood spot card or not, but they're bigger, a little bit bigger than a what's the little cards you hand out to people?
Those cards, business cards.
Yeah. Well, they're not as big as a deck of card type cards.
Business card.
Yeah, business cards, what I'm trying to say. They're a little bit bigger than that. And usually what they've got, depending on what kind of test you're getting, they'll have some little circles on it.
Charles, I've lost. Charles,
Yeah, we lost him.
We lost your voice.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you do is you take this top off this lancet and you prick your finger and you put a drop of blood in these circles on this card. You let it dry. You put it in an envelope, mail it back to the company, and they run it through a lab and test, and they'll give you back a report of what your vitamin D level is. And they can also do quite a few other things. They can check your omega-3 levels. They can check your omega-3/6 ratio. And that's an important ratio that everybody should be monitoring. They can also check your C-reactive protein, which is a measure of inflammation in your body. And you can do all this with a blood spot card right at home.
One of my biggest issues with my health is my potassium. My potassium likes to bottom out on me a lot.
So Charles, is this if one was interested in doing this, you just go to Google and type in?
Well, there's a number of places. Well, at least 2 places I know that you can do it, and I'm sure there's more. One of them, and I order a lot of supplements from this company called Life Extension. They're located down in Florida, and as I said, they're a supplement company, but they also sell these test kits. So you get the test kit, do your thing, mail it back. The laboratory sends Life Extension the results, and then you call up Life Extension on telephone, and you ask to speak with something they have down there called a wellness specialist.
Okay.
See, they got different kinds of people working for the company. They got people who just take your orders if you want to order supplements, Okay. But they also have people who are trained to tell you what the results of these tests means for your health. And obviously they're a supplement company, so they're going to recommend some supplements for you to take, but you don't have to if you don't want to. If your vitamin D level was low, obviously they're going to suggest that you take X thousand units of vitamin D. And then, by the way, we sell it. So, they're a company, they're in business to make money, so we can't fault them for that.
There's a question in here, Charles. What food would somebody eat for vitamin D?
None. You don't get vitamin D from food.
Mm-hmm.
None that I'm aware of. Let's say it that way.
Okay. Now, I know that, like grocery store milk, whole milk is enhanced with vitamin D, I believe.
It's what they call fortified. That means that the people who are making, manufacturing, and putting together the milk have added vitamin D back to it.
Okay.
But it's a small amount. It's not enough.
Right. Okay.
Small amount. I have people frequently tell me, oh, yeah, I'm taking 500 IUs a day. And I say, you might as well be going outside, opening your mouth and sticking out your tongue, let the sun shine on it. You know, and see, look at me now. You can tell I don't have dementia. I don't have Alzheimer's disease, and I'm 82 years old. If you
There we
got
go. Foods that contain vitamin D: fatty fish like tuna, mackerel, salmon,
now you can get
red meat, liver, and egg yolks,
to get
and
vitamin,
also your fortified foods.
to get vitamin D. You said
Yep, to get vitamin D.
you won't get much out there. You'd have to eat a bushel basket full of fish to get very much.
I don't know what levels they contain, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caitlin Strange says any food that has vitamin D in it is only because it's added to it. That may not be the case with the fish, but
Daryl, if you're interested in doing that, I'll reply to your email and give you the locations of the company. The other company name that does this is an outfit called Grassroots Health. Okay, and they don't sell anything. I'm talking about supplements. I don't think they are a research company. So when you let's say you order one of their test kits and you send it in and you get the results, then your data on what your results are goes into their research database, so that they can say that the average American vitamin D level is such and such. Now, talking about coronavirus, which we, just went through that mess. I never got the coronavirus, and I was keeping my vitamin D level up high, and I had my vitamin C level up high, my zinc level up high, and my quercetin level up high. And so all that time, and I didn't just stay at the house, because I had to go out. I might have a doctor's appointment. Periodically, I had to go out to pick up some medications. Periodically, I had to go out to buy some groceries. But I never got the coronavirus, and neither does my wife. And of course, she takes supplements also, and she's older, a little bit older than I am. She's 85.
okay. Chris's Clevercraft, I will do that. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's good to see you, and we'll certainly let Sherry know. Charles.
Yeah.
It's my understanding, and I could be wrong on this. I'm no doctor expert on vitamins and what have you. But if you take in too much of a vitamin, your body just expels it, just can't use it. Is that not correct?
I guess there is some belief in that. My excuse me. My feeling about it is, unless you was able to test and monitor it, okay, which is better, to take a little bit more than you need, or be taking less than you need? And of course, the answer is, for me, is I'm taking a little bit more than I might need. And of course, what people will accuse you of real quick is, oh, all you're doing is having expensive urine. So.
Well, I don't. Obviously, I'm not accusing you of having expensive urine, Charles.
No, I don't take it that way.
Whatever.
I understand people don't think they should have to take supplements. And I agree. 100 years ago, you didn't. But the food 100 years ago had a whole lot more in it, and had not had all this stuff done to it that the food has today. I'll give you a quick example, okay? 100 years ago, the primary cooking oil was pork fat, lard.
Yep.
Okay, the primary cooking oil today is probably either canola, corn oil, or maybe soybean oil, and those are destroying your health.
In my house, it's lard, which is pig fat, or bacon grease.
That's what I use. Yeah.
I like olive oil and lard.
Well, I will also use extra virgin cold pressed organic olive oil, and I will also use avocado oil.
Mhm.
But you
Avocado oil is really good.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive, but it's good. You don't want to be using soybean oil, corn oil, canola, Crisco. None of them oils. They're destroying your health. You're probably thinking, "Oh, you're just a crazy old man."
No, actually, I agree with you 100%.
Charles,
So do I.
I don't think that there's anybody in here that thinks that of you.
Mm.
Well, and I always say to people, "Okay, look,
Now,
I know who I am. I know where I am. I don't have dementia, Alzheimer's. Now, the reason I have heart issues, okay, in 2009, we had went to Gatlinburg and we used to go on our annual week-long trip on our anniversary week, wife and I. And so we had went to Gatlinburg that year, and on the way home, we stopped at a restaurant and had supper. And when I got home, I started throwing up, and I kept throwing up until I was almost unconscious. And my wife kept asking me, "Do you want me to call 911?" I kept telling her no. And she finally decided I was so bad off because apparently she didn't think I knew enough about what was going on. So she called 911, and I went to the hospital. And in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, my heart stopped beating in the ambulance. Got the emergency unit, stopped again.
Charles, we lost your voice again.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, so after 3 times of my heart stopping, the doctors backed off, brought my family in to watch my heart monitor was going flat. I was beginning to turn my family in to watch me die. That's what I thought. That's what I think. But suddenly one of the doctors exclaimed, talking about me, "He's still alive." So they did whatever they do. And I woke up a week later in the cardiac ICU, and I had tubes down my throat and everything, so I couldn't talk. So I did like this to my daughter. I motioned for something to write on. She gave me a piece of paper and pencil, and I wrote, "What happened?" Because I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a month in cardiac ICU trying to get strong enough to live. And then shortly after that, I got out of the hospital, and then I spent another year trying to get enough strength back. When I went in the hospital, I weighed 185 pounds. At the end of about 6 weeks, I weighed 150 pounds. Hospital, you don't get fat on hospital food. So,
No.
yeah. So anyhow, that's why. And when I come out of that, that's when I had the heart pacemaker, and that's where I had the heart damage. So it wasn't that I had heart damage because I took supplements or because I didn't take supplements or any of that kind of stuff. It was something that we had at supper that caused me to have a real violent throwing up fit. The doctors told me I had thrown up all my electrolytes, and it knocked my heart out of rhythm. And that's why my heart stopped beating. So, anyhow.
I see, Rick.
Long story short, it was a tough time.
I see that Richard Solomon has mentioned in here. He's in New Zealand. That they use rendered mutton fat, which is probably very similar to lard.
No.
It depends on what it's got in it. It's in terms of omegas, primarily omega-3. Is it heavy in omega-3 or heavy in omega-6 or heavy in omega-9? If it's in 6 and 9s, it's bad for you.
Rendered mutton fat is not the best tasting at all.
Then it's probably good for you.
People years ago, 100 years ago, It was lard. It was pork fat.
Yeah, pork fat's a lot better tasting. Even suet is a lot better tasting than a mutton fat.
Yeah. Well, the pork fat gives things a good flavor. Plus, it's healthier for you.
The fat from the lambs isn't too bad, but off mutton, no.
Now,
So
I
really-
render the fat from our chickens too when we butcher.
Too much omega-6s.
Is it?
Check
I
it
know
out.
it's yummy.
Do a Google search and ask Google. Google knows everything.
I'm going to need to hop off, folks. I'm getting emails that I'm supposed to be working.
Oh,
You're gonna get in trouble.
well, we don't want to get you in trouble. And
I'm
actually,
always in trouble. Let's face facts.
and actually, it is 11 o'clock. We've been on a couple hours.
Yeah, it is.
It's been very, very interesting here tonight. I want to thank. I mean, we haven't had a big crowd, but we've had a very interesting crowd here this evening, and some
Had a
great,
constant crowd coming and
so-
going.
and some great people here that have decided to bless us being on the panel here. If you would, Charles, I certainly thank you for jumping up here.
Well, I had been outside working and come in and thought I would check my channel, and when I did, I saw that you were on.
Well, I appreciate you jumping in. It's always a pleasure to see you and have you on. And Brenda, I know that it's rare for you to get online like this, so want to thank you for doing that. Terry, thank you. And Darren, always
Thank you for the invite.
always
Yes, thank you for
good.
inviting us.
Good to hear from Australia.
Yeah.
Always happy to jump on, mate.
Yeah, make sure that we got somebody in here that's keeping the water swirling the other direction. So, any last thoughts anybody's got here?
Give our love to Sherry. Tell her we love her and miss her.
We'll do that.
That's pretty much it. That's the important last thought.
We will certainly do that. So, folks, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it very, very much. And we will let you go. And we'll try it again next week. So, take care, everybody. Have a good week. And
Take care.
Good night.
we will see
God
you
bless
later.
everybody.
Good night.
All right.
All right.